Are Hootie and the Blowfish really worth? With some record company executives saying, off the record, they'd like to see CD prices hit $20, the question becomes, how much is too much to pay for the sound of music? Why are CDs so expensive? As Josh Mankiewicz discovered, the answer depends on who's doing the spinning. Here's tonight's Dateline Consumer Alert.
It takes only a few minutes to turn a little plastic into a compact disc and send it on its way to a rendezvous with your plastic. Americans bought more than 700 million of these last year. Many of them ended up in Brian Belknap's apartment.
How many do we have now?
There's somewhere between 800 and 900.
Brian makes lattes for a living.
And you're making how much an hour?
About $9.70 with tips, something like that.
How do you do it?
I don't know. I spend most of my money on CDs. I don't really spend it on much else.
Brian likes CDs, and the record companies like Brian. In fact, they like anyone who can whip out 16 bucks for the latest thing from Sting. But the thing is, while CDs cost anywhere from $13 to $20 to buy, they're only 50 cents to $1 to make. So why do they cost you so much? That's a good question. CDs hit the marketplace in 1983. A marriage of music and money at the corner of Hollywood and vinyl. At first, they cost around $20 because the technology was so new, so expensive. But record companies promised the price would soon come down. And it did. Until CDs became the industry standard. Then the price began to rise again, and soon, like the Cranberries, consumers were whining.
You got me wrapped around your finger.
CD prices.
Incredible. Outrageous.
Does $15.99 seem like a lot of money for a CD?
Yes.
You know, they cost about $1 to make.
Okay, so case closed.
Have you noticed that the price of new CDs has been going up over the last couple of years?
And that's why I haven't bought any lately.
If CDs cost less than $1 to make, why do they cost $15, $16, $17 to buy?
Seems like a fair margin to me.
Michael Sukin is a music industry lawyer and a former record company executive.
Yes.
And like most record company executives, he says a CD costs much more than just the raw materials.
There's all the stuff that goes in marketing it, promoting it, producing the record. So the record companies put out hundreds or thousands of records a year. There's an enormous investment, which they have to recoup off the winners, because the losers, they can't recoup any of this money.
In other words, when you're paying top dollar for that Blues Traveler CD, you're also helping A&M Records bring America the ass ponies.
The ass ponies. I wonder when they were coming out with a new one.
But that still doesn't explain why CDs cost so much more than cassette tapes.
They make the charge more if it costs more than a cassette to make it.
It costs about the same.
Really?
Yes, really. Cassettes and CDs cost almost exactly the same to manufacture. And it also costs the same to produce and advertise an album, whether it's a $9.98 cassette or a $15.98 CD. A huge price difference for the same musical product.
Is it worth it to you? I mean, honestly, look at me, tell me the truth.
I mean, you're buying it for your girlfriend.
I'm buying it for my girl, but I feel awful. I need to vent this on somebody. Help me out, man. Do you feel awful for me for doing this?
23 bucks seems like a lot for ABBA.
For ABBA? Come on. Aren't they dead?
No, they're probably headed for the ATM. The more successful an act is, the more money it brings in. If you've got a top dollar contract like Janet Jackson's, you get rich. But more often, it's the record company and not the performer who gets rich when you buy a CD.
The fact of the matter is that once a record company begins to make its money back on its investment on an album, it's like driving a truck up to the mint.
Anthony DeCurtis is a contributing editor at Rolling Stone magazine.
Why do CDs cost as much as they do?
The music industry is not going to lower the price of CDs, even though the price of manufacturing them has declined. Partly it's because people have gotten used to spending what they're spending. Partly it's because the industry is in a slump and they don't want to lower the price.
You mean they like making that money, and so they're going to keep making that money?
Exactly.
But are they doing it illegally?
There's possibly billions of dollars being overcharged the American consumer.
Attorney Michael Hausfeld thinks the major record labels are conspiring to charge artificially high prices. And on behalf of consumers, He's filed a lawsuit accusing the major labels of price fixing.
When I walk into the music store and buy a CD, how much more am I paying than I ought to be paying?
We think probably about $3 more.
And that money goes straight to the record companies.
Yeah.
How big an issue is this for the music industry? Well, consider this. Of the 6 major recording companies, not one would sit down and talk with us about how they price their CDs. And every single recording artist we contacted also told us that talking about CD prices is a no-win situation.
$30.99?
Well, that's the original master recording, Pink Floyd. What do you expect?
You can expect the industry to figure out what you want and how badly you want it. One reason CD prices are so high is that you're willing to pay them.
First you were used to $14.98, then $15.98, now $17.98. It's a question of habit. And I think that when they come up again, there won't be a problem.
Need it, want it, must have it.
Must have it. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm spending all my hard-earned money on back.
As of Friday, the record companies named in the class action suit had not filed a response to the charges against them, and only one company spokesperson has commented publicly on the suit, saying the allegations are completely without merit.